Hello everyone, this is Shadow Dragon once again on the test server covering episode 38, Wonderverse. So we're going to take a look at the feats, which I tend to not do in the initial videos, because I just want to see what comes up naturally. So in doing like a few dailies and just some random stuff, there's this don't smash this pot in the solo. That's basically getting the empty OP item that we're powering up, or whatever this is, the Amphora. So that's pretty much just a completion feat of the solo. And then equipping the augment, which is pretty standard in the newer episodes. So not too much else came from just doing one or two runs of the daily. And we got some pretty standard ones here. There's fortifying an augment all the way to the max, and then there's the first breakpoint at rank 11. Something new in this episode is they're allowing pre-T10s to get these augments, but it'll cap at 11 until you hit T10. Then you can fortify all the way up to 23. So it gives you something to do if you're not at the right CR for this episode, so you could farm the event and get your top augments to 11. So that does give you a lot of extra stats for the lower characters, and it also feels like a UX hole, a user experience hole, because a lot of returning players came back and they would see these two empty slots and just wonder how to get the items for them, but then they're too low to get them, and then you have to explain that it starts in the Titans episode and then it's everything after that. But with this edition here, they should be able to get some extra stats. Okay, Shattered... Okay, this is actually the OP item, so I have no idea what the other thing I collected was. So I bet this drops from the raid or something. And then this is completing the OP item. I did see images or videos of people wearing this. It's basically the Athena helmet, but what is unconfirmed is I don't know if it's hair compatible, because like when Athena wears it, you see her custom like long hair coming through. I don't know if this is made for all of the player hairstyles or not, because so far all of the ones I've seen don't let the hair through. So I don't know if those are just characters that don't use long hair, or the helmet overwrites it. But I think this is a really nice helmet if the hair is compatible. Otherwise, I'm not going to use it. Alright, so this is equip 2 augments, 11 or greater. Patchwork Themyscira, help defeat. So this is all the bosses, the boss checklist. And this is a counter for Merc, so there are going to be counters. Okay, there's a 10 counter for each of them. 5 for the Hydra. Hydra is the bonus boss. So I think if there's one cycle where you defeat all 4 of these, you get the Hydra. Again, something the dev should consider here is, will this work when the DLC is not populated anymore? Because if this spawn is requires like the other 4, that's just not going to happen. And you can see this in the past when they tried to do it with there was like a weekly where you had to defeat each of the 4 bosses that happened randomly in Age of Justice. But the problem is when that DLC is not populated, you don't get the different phases spawning, so then it's like impossible to get those 4 bosses, because if you stayed in the same place, you could potentially get the same boss over and over. So this will run into that issue as well. Phases like kind of recreate themselves. I imagine they work the way some failover systems do with like virtual machines, where if there's enough traffic there, it spawns like another phase or another machine. So when there's no traffic there, you're going to be stuck with one phase. So definitely consider that if any devs are watching this. Help launch 50 invisible planes. I did come across that, but I didn't know what it actually was. There's this thing off to the side where you interact with an NPC, and then you just wait there, and it seems to launch a plane. So I have one of those. Also interesting to see if that shares, and what people have to do to get credit for that. Flight to fights. Help launch invisible planes to aid the fight against. Okay, so there's some kind of mechanic with the invisible planes too. That affects the boss fights. But I don't think that's in like the same area as them, so that's kind of weird. Like, you would have to have one person stationed at this place while you're fighting the boss. Destroy 50 Atlantean turrets on the boats. Curious to see if that's like a side objective just for the feat, or if that happens during the Merc fight. Well, it doesn't say during the boss fight, so you do have to go out of your way. But I do want to check this during the daily, because if this also overlaps the daily objectives, you do want to hit these when you first start out the DLC. Similar to Birds of Prey, where you want to hit like the Venus flytraps on the roofs, as well as like the cats. During the Ares boss fight, help extinguish 100 fires. So that's an in-battle objective. There are a lot of open world feats here. Statue stopper, so it's another boss fight objective. And same case here. Help destroy. No, this is just probably one of the nodes that I never hit. Defeat Orion, who will only appear as... Okay, so Orion is another bonus boss for Steppenwolf and Calabac. Looks like you only have to do that once. Help defeat 50 Spartoi while fighting Rampaging Hydra. Oh, wow. So it's a counter for the bonus boss. So first you have the RNG of the bonus boss, and then you got to do this objective during that. Destroy 100 Hydra teeth while fighting the Hydra. So that's another one. These two are two objectives during the bonus boss. And that's all they filled out so far. They didn't put anything else in for like the solo or any of the other instances. So all of this is just open world. The solo, which we didn't see too much of because it kept bugging out in the last video, so you can check that out in the card above. But I imagine there's going to be one for all the different combinations, meeting all the different Wonder Women. Let's go ahead and queue for that, and we'll see if this works out today. Last time I ran this, the pointer solo, the initial one that had Nubia in it, worked correctly. But the other variants bugged at the middle boss. So let's take a look here.
You must be here to assist me. You may address me as Queen Diane. Atlanteans seek to hoard pieces of the source wall here. Fight alongside me, and you will be rewarded.
Alright, so we're in the Flashpoint one. And you do have to defeat all of the ads here, because if you don't, the doors don't open. So I think you even have to do this one, which is off the path. Looks like Flashpoint Wonder Woman is a dual wield.
Strengthen your back.
Let's see what sword she has. Okay, she has the cutlass. Now, my two allies don't have labels. Is that consistent? I kind of always thought the NPCs helping you were labeled. Okay, it appeared for her for a second, but it's like blinking in and out.
You need better training.
I'm thinking that's a bug. Because it is helpful to see like the green versus red names. Because I mean the characters are obviously custom styled, so they're not color coded or anything. So sometimes it's easier to just look at the names. Now, while these solos are random, there are walk-ins along the way, along the open world.
What are you doing here?
But, okay, this is where it bugged last time. So, Wonder Woman is going to disappear during this fight if they didn't fix it. And if they did fix it, then we're going to see some new stuff in this video. Okay, it didn't last this long last time, so... Okay, during the pointer version of the solo, the final boss was Grail. So I wonder if that's going to be the same for all of these. Wonder Woman was doing something here. Just trying to see if there's stuff along the way we're supposed to get to.
Join me or stand aside. I have need of those fragments.
Okay, so the final's always going to be Grail.
Grail, no cause is worth letting the multiverse collapse. Every other Amazon understands this.
Perhaps not every other Amazon.
She had some kind of timer, but I tried to hit interact. Didn't do anything.
Your bones will burn.
I think she is different depending on the solo though, because if you look at my other video, which again is in the card above, she was teleporting using like a mother box, but she's not using that here. And in the previous video, I didn't see that snake symbol. I'm gonna see if she pops it again. Damage Grail to stop her attack. Okay, I'm not exactly sure what that's doing.
My apologies, Queen Diana. She will betray you.
What did she mean that you would betray me? I would never. I have only come to ask you to join Nubia's council. I understand your need for such a council. I dearly miss my own advisor, Penthesilea, but she seems to no longer be with you. Be gone. I wish to be left alone.
Something I should mention here is that Susan Eisenberg does play most of the Wonder Woman here. I think it's all but Nubia, so it should be pretty interesting to see how she varies the speeches for each of them, because they're from different worlds, different personalities, so they're going to use they're going to have like different mannerisms in their language. And it must be pretty interesting for her to watch this as well, because you know, she's recording one at a time, and then in the final cut she's basically talking to herself. That's definitely a cool thing to put on the resume if you're a voice actor. Okay, so that'll do for the Flashpoint version of this solo. So they did fix the bug with the mid-boss, and it should be an interesting solo because the mid-boss is different and the final boss has different attacks. And this is a pretty cool statue. I just want to see if I just want to see the head. Hopefully that's a base item. Nice armor too. Alright, that is it from here. Stay tuned for more Wonderverse, and thanks for watching.